Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next perfect step where conversation and all possibilities begin in conversation. This is episode 17. We're so glad you're here with us. We have a special guest today who is part of the healing arts community. And Lori, would you like to introduce our guest?
I would love to introduce our guest. We welcome my dear longtime friend, Cris-Anne Travia Jackson. She is the owner of the Healing Tree in Londonderry, New Hampshire. She integrates her healing skills with her experience as an esthetician. She is a gifted and knowledgeable teacher combining intuition, Reiki, crystals, and angel cards into her healing practice. Cris-Anne helps to open doorways to healing yourself. She offers several healing paths. She is a certified Akashic practitioner, Reiki's 1, 2, and 3 practitioner and instructor. She is a certified esthetician and aromatherapist. She's a certified women's facilitator and co-founder of the Red Tent Sisterhood. She's an ordained minister, an astrologist, an intuitive psychic medium, and she also offers healing modalities through facials, pedicures, manicures, full body waxing, lash tinting, reflexology, ear coning, iotic foot detox, Reiki, crystal healing, numerology reading, emotional release, raindrop therapy, intuitive guidance, and she offers many classes and workshops. Cris-Anne and I have been friends for over 25 years. She has been a big part of my healing journey, starting me off with one of two people who taught me my first lessons in Reiki, and I have worked under Cris-Anne for a long time. So I am very excited to welcome Cris-Anne today.
Thank you.
So Cris-Anne, a lot of people have been asking recently, and I don't really know what is come up about it, but a lot of people have been asking about Akashic readings. So could you tell us a little bit about what it is and how it helps us?
Absolutely. So Akashic record readings pretty much taps into that linear part. So they're like so we kind of like go into a meditation state, but it taps into anything from your past, things that you might need healing, things that are blocked, or connections to your past loved ones. Everything pretty much has like energy. Anything from a chair that somebody built has that energy into it. You can get a record from that. And up in the ethers, there's like these gatekeepers that carry the knowledge, if you will. And if and when you are ready to tap into it, they will give you the knowledge that you're seeking. But if you're not, then, sometimes they won't open that doorway until you've crossed some other thresholds to get that information.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your healing journey? I know it's been a long one. You started a long time ago. So yeah, you've seen a lot in that time.
Yeah. Growing up, I guess, in a situation where your parents didn't get along, and I think my journey was to break some ancestral stuff, karmic stuff. So I was the oldest of 3 sisters. So I definitely had to portray a different role. And, the firstborn, I think, carries a different weight. You have to lead the pathway. But moving forward, my biggest one was through cancer. I ended up, getting cancer. And that was like a big wake up call. I've always been on the path of holistics. And I started my Reiki journey 25 years ago, but you kind of sometimes you lose sight of it. So I think when I was going through my own spiritual journey, I just the cancer really catapulted me like a tower moment, if you will, to really question some things about my life. I guess you could say I had a near-death experience because I did almost die. But during that time frame when I was in the hospital, I kept seeing interesting signs, and I kept hearing like voices telling me that I was going to be okay. And it still gives me chills to this day because Archangel Michael was there, and I know he was. It was showing up in weird signs. The color blue, as you know, is like his color. And on the scrubs of all the nurses, their name tags were blocked off, and all it said was Angel, and then 1111. So I was like, and then I could hear. So it was just in that pivotal moment, I knew that my journey wasn't over. It was just beginning. So I can't even explain it. And then it's just kind of brought me to this path where I'm at today. And I haven't looked back.
That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So what is your kind of your outlook and your philosophy? You have a lot of healing modalities that you use, which is fantastic. What do you sort of what's your outlook for the healing modalities that you use?
The outlook?
Like your I guess I'm trying to say, what is your point of view as far as approaching clients and that sort of thing?
I am intuitively guided. So each client that does come in, oddly enough, most of them come in immediately. Being an esthetician anyway, people tend to they drop their stuff in your chair, and you end up being their therapist anyway, because you're touching them and they feel vulnerable in that space anyway, and they feel safe, as you know. So a lot of them walk through the door already being like word vomit. They just start telling me their life story within 5 minutes, and they're like, and then within half of that they're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know why I told you all this. I said, and I have to sit with them, and I kind of like explain to them what I do, and then I explain that sometimes your higher conscious already knows that it's a safe space for you to come in and say what you need to say. And then at that point, I just tell them what I do. And then sometimes I can convert that skincare client into a healing client just from just that. That's usually how it happens for me. Everybody's different, and some people seek it. Some people just find me, and that's how it happens. And then, but as far as what I go through, like as a process or a protocol or their self-healing plan, I always start with Reiki. And then I kind of feel intuitively guided at that point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So switching a little over to your astrology, I know you've been a huge help with me, birth charts and what's going on in the world. And I know we're sitting in between two eclipses. So do you have any advice or guidance for us during this time? Or can you explain to us a little bit what's going on right now?
So honestly, where it is in Scorpio season, it's really, right now, it's really tapping into your shadow work. I feel like a lot of things are flipping people over and they're feeling lost. And first and foremost, stay grounded. I definitely try to find ways to ground yourself. I find peace just walking out in nature around this time. And I just tap into all the things around me, and I kind of just really feel what comes up, and I just try to process it. But grounding for me is like the biggest thing. And if it does come up for you, then, or if you feel triggered, you have to sit with that and try to figure out where it's stemming from. But definitely grounding, getting maybe a healing session, maybe getting your birth chart reading done so you can find out what is going on in that area of your life that you're struggling with.
How would you describe shadow work?
That's a great question. Because when people are coming unraveling, people aren't understanding what that actually is going on with them at that moment in time. So it's a learning curve, but shadow work is, things that are triggering you, that unhealed trauma, that inner child trauma, things that come up that you have to kind of like work through. So that's those shadow things that show up on a daily basis that set you off, that that these are the things that are bothering me and I don't know why, but I know I need to work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of explain it the same way. It's the things that we don't want to look deeper into. Like you said, triggering, but we don't know why. What beliefs are sitting behind it, or what were we taught that we just accepted as facts that really aren't facts for us? It's going deeper and seeing the things that we're trying to hide from ourselves, our inner truth that we're not really taking a look at.
Yeah. And if you don't work on healing that piece, it shows up in weird ways through illness or disease or, other blockages throughout your life that are holding you back from your highest potential, your truest self. So if you don't work on those things and you keep repeating the cycle, you keep seeing the same lessons in different people, because everybody that you meet is your teacher, or maybe you're teaching them something. There's a lesson to be learned in everybody that you connect with. We're all made of energy. And it's just this crazy web.
Right? Energy exchange, right?
Yeah.
I notice with some of the people that I work with shadow work too, they go, and sometimes people go into the shadow work and they focus only on the darkness, right? So the bad things about themselves, and then I see them go into a depression. And I think that it's important that, I think, which is what, when you're working with somebody like you and I who work with shadow work, it's important to get them to focus on the positive instead of to see the negative and to see where it's coming from and how you're reacting, but then to change that way of thinking.
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
you
honestly,
see that with people who do shadow work?
yeah, a lot of the times. So I try to remind them that you can't have the light without the dark and the dark without the light. Everything has to have a balance, but we should own our dark side of ourselves, but not unpack and live there. But a lot of people do. And I always try to keep reminding them that it's like a wave. It's an emotion that comes up. It smacks you in the face. You have to feel that emotion, but you have to let it go and process why. And then try to see the positive. So take that negative and that positive and try to find that balance.
And I think also part of that is self-love, is like when you see the shadow part of yourself, don't beat yourself up, or don't let that inner critic shame you, but just kind of bring it in and experience some love for that and compassion for that part of yourself, so that you're not beating yourself up, and just try to include that in the light part, in the love that you can offer it, the compassion that you can offer yourself.
Absolutely. And I find that, self-care is a huge part of that. I mean, the self-healing journey, I don't feel like is an easy one. When people say they're going through the awakening, and it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
That's the worst part is going through that. You wake up every day sometimes and you just want to cry, and you want to throw yourself under a blanket and just not leave there and eat a box of chocolates. But, the best thing you can do is just sit with it, take a bath, do the things that bring you comfort in that moment.
Yeah. And you're huge in that. So talk about, how important self-care is, in the different ways. I mean, you offer a lot of self-care, which is all healing in their own rights, even if you don't realize it. I mean, even a pedicure or a manicure is self-healing in a way. I mean, not only do they get to sit in your energy and there's a part of them that already knows that there's some type of healing going on, which is why they open up so much to you. But I mean, there's healing in all of that.
Yeah. I mean, self-care shows up in so many different ways. Like I said, for you, for me, we like getting out in nature. We like exploring different parts of our state. that brings us peace and comfort, making your favorite comfort food, connecting with friends to remind you how amazing you are. The facials are just, that's physical touch. So there's different elements to self-care. And I feel like just like with all the elements in the universe, you have your air, your fire, your water, earth, it depends. We have physical, we have emotional, we have spiritual. So whatever you're being connected to, sometimes it's going to get a reading, or it's going to get a healing as Reiki, or maybe you just need some touch or a massage or a facial or a pedicure, physical things. Sometimes it's cooking your favorite food, so it definitely just shows up in different ways. And I say, whatever you're feeling drawn to, just do that.
What are some of your favorite healing? What's your favorite healing modality?
Oh, geez. Well, I love, connections with friends. I do love my alone time, because I feel like I just feel like I can connect with myself better when I'm by myself, and I process differently. So I need to, and it helps me recharge my energy. But I love massages and, connecting with people. I love going for walks. I love reading. I throw myself into a lot of books. I've stacks, and cooking. Those are like and music, that I have to say is my ultimate in dancing. That is my favorite. Those are my favorite things. So I go with all of those that brings me peace. I'm connecting with music in itself. Really, music is an emotion. So, and I think music is a big one.
Yeah. And it's those simple things like music and dancing that people don't see as healing. Mm-hmm. And it's so healing for everyone. So, yeah.
Those are all the things that feed your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Nature is, especially in the Northeast right now, nature is just beautiful. I'm just soaking in the colors of the oranges and the reds of the trees. I was just drinking in the colors, and it felt like food for the soul this weekend. It was nice. We're lucky to have the changing of the season.
Absolutely. But again, I'm very connected to nature, because I look at fall as change. I see the leaves fall, I think of letting go. Like when I see nature, I find these little things that click. And so it just helps kind of like, to me, remind me to check in with those things. And it's okay to do it, because we have cycles. We have 4 seasons, and each one serves a purpose.
Feels like this is a good slowing down time too.
Yeah.
It's kind of yeah, feels good.
So I know this is a big time for you in October and stuff. What events do you have coming up?
Well, I just got done doing a trunk or treat for Left and Dance Company in Bedford. They put on a little dance show, all those little dance performers. So, but my next big one is the Witches Gala. I'm connecting with the Sister Witch Company, and they're raising money for the Granite State Dog Recovery and Corey's Closet this year. And I think it's going to be held at the Bedford Conference Center this Saturday from 6 to 11. Awesome. And I think I just have one more coming up for a friend spa, but that's in Danvers, Mass. So, but other than that, that will be the end of it for a little bit till holidays.
Do you still do your red tent gatherings? That's
no. I dispersed that a while ago because I just, different exchanges, being pulled to different directions. But I try to do my like a healing circle. I did put that on pause for a while. So I do like more moon circle stuff for myself and, for anybody who wants it.
I think that it's really powerful when you get a group of, especially women, together in a group, and you have sharing, and you just, I love that. So I was interested in that.
We need it as a community. Women, we build each other up. Our families and friends families tend to drain us, but your female women rebuild you. That's your support system.
Yeah, I loved your moon circles. I loved the meditations, connecting with the moon as a group of women, the activities we did. It was immensely helpful, healing, and uplifting. Like you said, to be sitting together with a group of like-minded women, it was really, really magical.
Thank you. It's just a reminder to know that you're not alone, and we all have something that we're going on. We're just like a little melting pot of, things, and that we are a lifeline. You just have to reach out for it sometimes. And that's why I think it's important during the cycles of the moon, where the feminine energy, we tend to be so connected to that moon, and our intuition starts to amplify a little bit more. And the more that we come in, like I said, we're energetic beings that can create this mass healing on that feminine level. And, and we're all here for each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you have any last words of healing wisdom for us?
Honestly, just take one day at a time and breathe it out. I always say practice the breath. Breathing is the life essence of everything that we do. So when you're feeling stressed, sit and just breathe in, focus on your breath, let it out, let all the things go, that this too shall pass. This is just a moment in time. And you got to work through the ugly parts to get to the beautiful side.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the lotus, but I think the lotus journey is so true in the healing or awakening journey. We start in the mud, deep, deep in the mud, and it's messy. But when we break out of the mud and we start to bloom, it's really beautiful.
It is, but it's just like you can't have the sweets without the sours. You need both to show the essence of your being, which is the essence of the flower. So you need all of it. Agreed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today. And if you're looking for any of Cris-Anne's wide variety of healing modalities or esthetician and self-care and self-beauty, her website and all of her wonderful gifts will be posted below. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.